or again, hi, my name's Rosemary, or your Ghoulfriend, whichever you prefer, and I'm a music educator and maker for over a decade. And we're going to be talking about how to make music. I also have a series about how to understand the language that is music theory. So, wherever your heart takes you, sounds awesome. Let's start with something simple, though, right? Let's start with the fact that today we are not going to be clicking a bunch of buttons. We're not going to be recording anything, and we're not going to be fixing any settings. Today we're going to be talking about what a DAW actually is and why the one that I use, Reaper, is actually probably the coolest option, especially if you're just getting started, okay? So easy peasy, very laid back. Welcome. This is the creation station. In the background, you can kind of see a little bit of Reaper. But again, today we're not going to focus too much on what it is exactly. I just want to get you used to the space, right? So, like I said, a DAW, D-A-W, Digital Audio Workspace. That's it. Scary acronym, but that's it. It records sounds, it plays them back to you, and it allows you to edit them, rearrange them, do a lot of cool things to them, and then export them out. And that's it. That's what it is. It doesn't make you innately talented to use one. It doesn't make any decisions necessarily for you. And it definitely doesn't magically turn you into some kind of amazing producer immediately. And it also doesn't turn bad ideas magically into good ideas. All those things being said, it's just a digital studio. It's just a space to create in, like a kind of like a sketchbook. If we would think about it like that, I would. If you've been spending any time at all researching or thinking about researching, even making music, and especially if you've talked to other musicians or producers about it, you've probably heard them bickering about DAWs, about which one is better and about which one you should use as a beginner or as a seasoned professional, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Who cares, right? You've probably been hearing a lot of this. Ableton versus Logic, Pro Tools versus literally everyone, Fruity Loop Studio, people being just loud. And I mean that with my whole heart, guys, please, because I'm just, listen, here's the truth. Almost all modern DAWs are capable of professional quality work, period. They just are. So when you see people pitting them against each other, it's not typically because they're objectively better. It's typically because they defend the one that they learned first. They defend the one that finally made things click for them, because sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to understand anyway, it can be difficult to understand DAW sometimes. So when you find one that works for you, you'll defend it forever. Also, workflow preference is not the same thing as quality. So again, like, just because it works better for them doesn't mean that it's necessarily a better DAW, but they will perhaps feel that it is, and so therefore really. But there is no professional DAW versus not. It's just more about the person using it. Let's think about that part of that, right? The professional use of the tool is more important than the tool itself sometimes, right? But, and this really, really matters, okay? Some DAWs are better teachers than others. So then let's talk about why I like Reaper. Okay. First of all, it's affordable. And I don't mean in like a sketchy, cheap kind of a way. I mean, like, it has, first of all, a fully unlocked trial. You can use Reaper as if it was your own in the trial. There aren't any locked tools, no artificial limitations. And when you do buy it, because I'm telling you, you'll want to buy it, it's only about $60. That's crazy. Anyways, there's no punishments for being broke with Reaper, which I really like, because again, as a musician, that's really not a limitation that I want to set on myself. And it doesn't punish you if you're learning slowly either, because it runs on basically anything, PC or Mac, older machines, laptops that sound like they're begging for mercy. It's lightweight. You know what I'm saying? It's going to run on anything. Don't quote me on that. One of you out there is going to be like, I found the thing it doesn't run on. Listen, come on. Anyways, third thing, I think it's the third thing. Third thing, and this is most important, It doesn't force you into a rigid workflow. We talked about workflows a minute ago and why DAW versus DAW, etc. It doesn't force you into it. into this. You don't have to decide right away what is. Oh, let me rephrase this. You don't have to decide right away if the workflow is the way you want it to be. You can change it. It's entirely customizable. You can make it mimic other DAWs. So editing, it's all flexible with Reaper in a way that feels really supernatural. I feel like somebody should be paying me to sell Reaper, by the way. I know it's sounding a lot like that, but I've just spent a lot of time deciding between DAWs myself, and I just feel it's really comfortable as a creator because it does have a lot of flexibility. And I feel like it respects you. It doesn't really try to hide behind a lot of like flashy animations or assume you're dumb. It's just very like, here's some room. I trust you know how to use it. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. The last thing about this, and this really matters, a lot of modern music technology is built on planned obsolescence a little bit, like subscriptions, forced upgrades, projects breaking between versions because of rigidity in the versions. And Reaper is kind of weirdly old school about this, but in that way it's really stable. It doesn't break your work every year. It doesn't force you to subscribe to a bunch of shit that you maybe don't need. And all the setups are available. All the upgrades are available, and they'll just notify you like, hey, the new version is ready, and you can download it, and it's really easy peasy. I love that once you have it set up and once you understand it, Reaper kind of grows with you. And like I said, the maneuverability due to the customizability of it is what makes it my favorite. Also, I'm an aesthetic hound, and I like that I can make it look however I want. That's kind of a massive deal for me. I don't want to lie to you, okay? Fucking bite me. I don't care. So, let's be super real and go over a little list, because I know everybody likes a good list. Lists are great. What this series is gonna do or not gonna do, right? You do not have to watch the music theory videos adjacent to this to follow along. You do not need a bunch of expensive gear. You don't have to already know what you're doing. You could be totally fresh to this and have no idea, and you're in the right place. We're going to go really slow. We're going to talk about concepts before we talk about pressing the buttons to make those concepts happen necessarily. We're going to focus on understanding and not necessarily the speed. Okay? If you can use your little ears and you can listen, you can learn. It's easy peasy. I know a lot of people get very intimidated by the concept, so I just want to really reassure you that you're safe here. And if this felt grounding, you're welcome to subscribe. If this felt like a good place, please tell your friends. And I hope you're really excited, because I'm excited. And again, I have the Reaper setup video if you want to check that out over on my Patreon. And otherwise, happy trails and good luck making your musics. And I'll be here next week with more videos.